now. And the achievement is a real bad ash. Private Shade, we thank you for coming. The Flame General will be heartened to hear that you have answered the call. As we have already relayed to the Waking Sands, Ifrit is returned. Oh, this one. Okay. For the sake of peace in the region, we humbly request that you vanquish him. The primal is to be found in his domain, the Bowl of Embers. To get there, you must use the Beastman Netherite found within the depths of Zaharak, the Amalja stronghold. The Amalja have constructed their own Aethernet from salvaged Aetherite shards. This being the case, you should be able to use it without problem. No doubt you already know this from your fellow Scions, but the present incarnation of Ifrit is far stronger than the last. Facing him with any fewer than 7 of your stoutest comrades would be ill-advised. That is all the intelligence we have to share. The rest is in your hands. I shall pray for your victory and safe return. Okay, so that's that is Ifrit hard mode. No, that's the way of the samurai. I don't care about that. This I care about. Rise and fall of gentlemen. An old acquaintance of Wymond is at wit's end, and the businessman would have you help her. You've been busy as a bee, Archon. Half the whispers that come my way relate to your comings and goings. Being the active type you are, I reckon you'd be interested in investigating some queer rumors, am I right? But before that, let me ask, ever heard of a man named Hildebrand? Oh? Hear him tell it, he was Eorzea's greatest and most famous inspector. Still, can't say I'm surprised you don't know him. To his credit, Hildebrand and his assistant had a knack for showing up when something shady was afoot. As for the sussing out of the culprits, well, he had his moments, though I hesitate to give him sole credit. And he wrote, 5 years ago, he gets it in his head that he's cracked the code of the Messiah's 7th verse. Dalamud, the calamity, all of it can be stopped, he says, so long as he finds the hero of prophecy. And wouldn't you know it, the hero was Hildebrand himself. So he flies off toward Dalamud. That's right, he flew. Launches himself straight into the air somehow, ridiculous as it sounds. Of course, it's only logical that he's got to come back down. It was only recently that we found his body. I had a reason for bringing this up. Right. So Nashu, Hildebrand's erstwhile assistant, has become an inspector in her own right. At present, she's investigating the queer rumors I mentioned earlier. She's a sweet lass. A bit daft, but sweet nonetheless. So when I hear she's at wit's end, I want to help. Thing is, I prefer not to meddle in the affairs of the living. Zombies are most definitely not my forte. So if you're willing, I'd be grateful if you lent her a hand. As for where to find her, she's like to visit Hildebrand's grave in the Lichard when she's frustrated. Try looking her further there first. Add time and heading off to Corpscrew. I will be right back. Okay, what do you want, Pio? Ah! Huh? Why, you're Archon, the famous adventurer. Thank the gods for bringing you here. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Pio, one of the many faceless adventurers struggling to make their way in Eosia. Forgive me if I sound bitter. I don't begrudge you your renown. Your superiority as an adventurer was obvious to me long before it became a household name. Paths crossed near Sestasha, you see. Hard to believe we moved in similar circles back then. Speaking of which, do you perchance remember having met a conjurer named Etta around that time? We used to adventure together, she and I and 2 others. Who's not aware of penguins? The little group didn't last very long, though. Things fell to pieces when Iver, our leader and Etta's fiancé, met his end in the Tumtara Deepcroft. Harsh words were exchanged, and we all went our separate ways. Since then, I've been getting by on my own. Truth be told, I hadn't planned on seeing any of my former comrades again. But then this letter arrived from Etta, containing an invitation to her wedding. No, I know what you're thinking, and I should be happy for her. And I was, until I noticed the name of her groom-to-be. It was none other than Iver. What's more, the venue for the ceremony is to be Tumtara Deepcroft, the very place the poor fellow died. Something isn't right, I tell you. Now, in the letter, Etta wrote that Liavine, that's the 4th member of our group, had already agreed to attend. A chance to meet each other recently, from what I could gather. Not knowing what to make of it all, I thought it wise to consult Liavine about this whole strange affair before replying. At last I heard. She joined the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, and I didn't have the first idea how to go about tracking her down. Not until the greatest scion of them all appeared, that is. Could you tell me where I might find her? Lich Yard of this church of Saint Adama Landama? I'm sorry, I don't... Slain in an Imperial raid, you say? At 12, I had no idea. When did this happen? Well, the Black Wolf still lived? How can it be that Liavine met Etta recently? Gods, I don't know what to believe. If it isn't too much to ask, I would be most grateful if you'd show me Liavine's grave. We didn't always see eye to eye, but she had a good heart, and if she's truly... well, you need to pay my respects. Please, meet me at the Lich Yard. Okay, so that's the 2 unlocks here. Well, 3 unlocks really, including Ifrit. What do we got? Taking the red mage. Those are all class unlocks. Yep. Nothing new back here. I mean, theoretically that's new, but it's a class unlock, so we don't care. That's the Weaver. Just leaves a check whether there is anything up here. Which doesn't look like there is. Okay. So we're gonna go back to Little Alamigo, visit the quest node for the Amal job, because now we are able to pick up their rank 4 items. It's one thing I find mildly annoying about the way the our tribes are organized, in addition just the general annoyances, is that when you do hit max rank, you have to go back to the city that gave it before you actually get max rank. So you get some extraneous travel, basically. So these give iron, steel, mithril stuff. But what we are here for is the wind up Amal Jaw and the Drakehorn. Wind up Amal Jaw and the Drakehorn. Should probably unlock that. These are just weapon coffers. This is our, if I can get it, this is the minion you get for max ranking the Amal Jaw. It is a tiny little Amal Jaw. It's kind of cute. It is, however, no Gallicat. Mount you get is the Cavalry Drake. There we go. And yeah, same Cavalry Drake, accidentally dismounted. Same Cavalry Drake you ride around the missions. Oh, it can fly. Interesting. Fine, Gaelic Kitten, and it does have the fire spell too. So, the other thing to do in this zone is to unlock Ifrit Hard Mode, which is a trial with an 8-person trial. You cannot do the fire breath while airborne though. It's a drake, not a dragon. No wings. Kinda wish I could use its fire breath while airborne, but I understand why not. It's back here, right? Yeah. Just looks cool. So it's because the actual... So each of the mounts that you get out of the beast tribes can do the thing they do when you ride them for the quest. For Elps, that's nothing, but the Gabu that you get for the Sils does his sneeze, the Drake does its fire breath. I don't know what it, I don't remember what the Kobolds is. I don't think they do anything. I think it might be like a cluster of bombs or something. But, okay. I am gonna queue for the Bowl of Embers hard, because these do have to be done at some point. But in the meantime, we are gonna progress the MSQ. You're a burp. And burp. I don't remember burping, but... Sweet siren of the sands, my Miqo'te muse, why have you forsaken me? Titan's Bane! I mean Archon! What brings you to my humble resort? Lamine? You mean to tell me the goddess made flesh who dwelt among us until so recently was the songstress of Ul'dah? Godsman, if I had known that, I would have chained her to my bedpost and never let her leave. Oh, for shame. To think that she now plies her trade for the riffraff off to the west, or wherever she said she was going. It's a tragedy, I say. A tragedy! West, is it? Thank you, Master Guruju. Your information will serve us well. That said, there are an n number of places she could be. I shall begin my search by the docks and see if any witnesses might have some knowledge to spare. I would be most appreciative if you could travel to onto Wineport and do the same. Are you done? Thank you. That spawned a lot quicker than expected. We are fighting Ifrit hard mode. It's really not that much different than Ifrit normal mode, except there's more. There's more. When it spawns the nail, there's more than one nail. Just enjoy the music. I mean, it's not Titan, but it's pretty good. Stay out of those. Stay out of that. Keep an eye out for the nails. There we go. Oh, come on. They've got it. Jumps into the middle, I think. Yep. Oh, right. There's three of them appearing on the edge. They dash around the arena. someone broke it. That's it for 4 pillars instead of 1, but generally it's just all the old things on steroids. Battle axe drop, don't care. Pass on that. Inferno weapon coffer. That's gonna be a loss unless everyone else. Yeah, someone else won that one. I rolled. Shit. Yeah, someone rolled an 80. Okay. At some point later, you can get to the point of basically soloing them. So I usually just go for those items by just walking up to Ifrit and going 1v1 me bro when I'm like level 70, 80, somewhere in that range. You can teleport to Wineport, you can take the ferry. But the nice thing about being able to fly is, screw that, we fly over it. That seems like a good time to run an ad early though. This takes a minute.